All right, coming next up to the stage, we have Enrique. He was actually on earlier today. If you guys remember, he was a host. So, Enrique, can you come on the stage? Enrique, are you there? Okay, well, you guys gotta listen to me for a while longer. There he is. All right, Enrique left me hanging, man. I had this awesome intro for you, and it's like
Did you?
crickets.
Do you want to do it again?
No, no, I'm just messing with you. Uh, what is that, Mister What?
This is Mr. Military Florida 2026.
I heard about that. The Mister Military thing. I actually got a an invitation to that, but I was too plate was too full. But I did win the 2025 Georgia Veteran Entrepreneur of the Year.
And there
So
you go. Hey,
yeah, that was pretty
if,
cool.
if that's not a consolation prize, I don't know, brother.
Yeah, I just own Georgia for the next
Yeah, right.
couple months.
We take state by state. Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, state by state, no worries. Well, Enrique, thank you for coming back on, so we could actually hear, specifics about you and just clarity on how you feel about helping others and also what patriotism means. So first, I'm going to ask you what branch you serve, even though you got that funny thing on your head.
I got that anchor, boy.
Oh man, there wasn't a lot of you Navy folks on this today.
No,
I know
well,
there's another one coming later.
you don't need that much to show the power. So
So tell me, when did you serve? What years?
yeah, so obviously Navy served from November 89 to December 2015, so a total 26 years.
Wow,
And in the meteorology and oceanography community.
that's a whole science. Like
Oh
wow,
yeah, nothing but science.
yeah, that's it's funny. When I was 4, my mom asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I said a weatherman. She said why? Because I wanted to
Wow.
control the weather.
Yeah.
Because at
What
4 years
what
old,
better thing than do that?
yeah, 4 years old, you think the weatherman controls the weather because he or she says it. So that
Right.
was my first wannabe job was a weather
That was a good strike. I don't know what happened. You fell off. We would have greeted you with
fell
open
way
arms.
off.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to give you the spotlight. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you're serving, and also what does patriotism mean for you, and I'll come back in about 8 minutes.
Outstanding. Well, as mentioned, Enrique Acosta Gonzalez, I am currently serving in this capacity as Mr. Military Florida for this coming year, and also as mentor for various organizations, a couple of them here locally, one post Veterati and ACP. So pretty active in those in that regard as far as service. And when you look at the definition for patriot. The dictionary says is the person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. And that sounds a little combative right off the bat, right? So no wonder the military is the one that is mostly recognized as the patriots of America. Now, there are civilian patriots that did not serve or would not serve. And talking about serving, the military is comprised of about approximately 0.4% to 1%, depending if you include both active and reserves. So about 1% of the population is represented in military service at any given time. And that's why I often say when we're talking about transition and going from one side to the other, that we are the 1%, the 99 forgot to or learned to live without, right? And so very important to consider that when you're transitioning. But my service is grounded on the opportunity to have served in the military, now in the civilian sector, trying to encourage civilians to open up their aperture as far as how they define these military folks coming out and how they start, how they're putting them in little silos based on their perception of what we do and who we are. And so my job now is to facilitate that transition for a lot of the service members through these different organizations and allowing the service members to start to understand, right? Because I think it's an understanding issue when we either come out or the populace is receiving us as to who we are and what we provide. So a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching. I have my own coaching practice, and in that coaching practice, I help folks move on to the next level of whatever their career is waiting on them for. And so, yeah, service is something that is integral to all military. I think right from the beginning, they tell you and teach you that service is part of not only what we do as military members, but also it is graded on your evaluation. So you have to do something. And those that do a lot get the rewards of what that looks like. I mean, we even have a medal for volunteerism, right? So it goes to show you how the military not only raises those military members to be service oriented, but also the relationship between the military and the civilian as far as how we impact the community when we are either in the community or out by virtue of being a civilian again. So it's very important not only to continue to serve, but serve in different variety of capacities. I mentioned this specific capacity. This is mostly me bringing the knowledge of what military is to the civilian population, but also raising funds for a nonprofit of choice. My nonprofit of choice here locally in the Orlando area is Camaraderie Foundation. They focus on the invisible wounds of military members, and they do a fabulous job. So it was an honor to actually do what I do for them. And also, as mentioned earlier, through mentorship, we really don't understand the value of mentoring until we need it, and then it's almost too late sometimes. So I encourage not only the military people getting out, but those civilians that are wanting to learn more about military and all of that nature of things to get mentors, get people that have been on either side of the road. Help They will help you not only transition but understand a little better. So within those confines of my own practice, mentoring in several organizations, and now the Mr. Florida or Mr. Military Florida capacity, I get to educate and expose people and open the aperture around what a military member is and what we do. And that's how I'm serving.
That's incredible. So happy that somebody like you is in our space. Really am. Uh, what do you feel keeps you awake at night? What's your stressor?
Well, I think when you're talking about the comment of earlier, when you go to a school and you canvas young people, and 99% of them say this nation is not worth fighting for, or this nation is not worth dying for, or I'm not going to be putting my life on the line for what I'm looking at. Number one is a testament against our nation, right? what we've allowed to occur and our young people to witness. Um, because Brian, you don't need keen eyes to see a bag of potatoes coming, and you're like that doesn't look right. You don't need to be a scientist or a rocket scientist to see,
Meteorologist.
yeah, or meteorologist to see, hey, something's not right here.
Yeah.
And so that's a testament against the current condition of our nation, and it's sad. But the nation today is not what it was when we came in. And regardless of the politics around it, it is still the condition of our nation. And so it breaks my heart. I'll tell you, my son is one of those that I was like, hey, you want to be a chief like daddy? He's like, nah. I was like, oh, really? I was like, why not? He's like, yeah, because that's a job, but you had to do something else. You had to sign your life away. Your life was expendable. Mine's isn't. I was like, yo, whoa. And
Wow.
so when you talk about patriot and and the pure definition of it, a person who vigorously supports their country,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that vigorously has kind of like just washed away. And so, you know, what do we do? What do we do? We are the last man standing, last lady standing with the old way of thinking in terms of our commitment to the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
That document that structures us as a nation, that must be protected at all costs. And sometimes even I have witnessed that protection has waned, that we are allowing things to get restructured. Now, time calls for some revamping, right? You don't want your old plastic covered sofas. I don't know if you ever sat in those, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I had a grandma.
right? Plastic. If you came to my house today in 2025 and you saw a plastic covered sofa, you're gonna be like, bro, come on now. All right. So there are times that we do need to readjust, revamp, and consider what is working, what's not working, right? Because 1875, 17, they didn't, they weren't even thinking about plastic. They didn't
Right.
have it, right? So we have to adjust with time, but what cannot be adjusted, what should never be adjusted, is that feeling that I need to be vigorous in my
Mm.
support of this country via that document. And I think that has taken a hit. And that's why we're seeing such a battle. So
It's interesting that we follow, we have that same mindset, but yet our kids are the ones who don't feel as empowered to protect. And I, like you, I got 6 kids, and one of them is in JRTC, and she wants to join the army instead of the Air Force because she wants
oh,
a harder
oh,
life.
that's
That's what she
that's
said.
gotta hurt, but
Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Don't you want a quality life?" She said, "No, I want a harder life."
yeah, you gave me quality of life. Why do I want that?
Yeah, she's a sophomore, so yeah, I call her a jerk all the time.
Yeah.
She's not even in the military, and she jokes about the Air Force. She like makes jokes.
Oh,
Like I don't know where
wow.
she finds these jokes at, but it hurts.
Oh my goodness.
But
But
really,
it's funny because and we talk about we served our children are you know one chose I don't have my girls ain't going. They're like no, and my two sons are like nah, ain't got to do it. So I'm running out of options here, right? I gotta get a grandkid to do it now.
yeah, you
Um,
have to adopt somebody.
but also how does our perception as parents and our way of being as parents kind of has hindered that, is because, we like to give our kids everything we didn't get. And
Yeah.
I think in a way,
It's our fault.
yeah, we kind of did that to ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate it, Enrique. I'm going to call up the next guest,
all right, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
and I really want to get a hold of you, keep
Yeah.
in touch. So one thing, just tell people how they can reach you, and also I'm going to give you my email address because I'm going to talk with you at some point about your business and what are you doing in the community.
Outstanding. Yeah. So you can easily find me on LinkedIn, and which is usually where I operate for everything, right? For the consulting, for the podcast, just to chat, you'll find me there. So if you go to Enrique Acosta Gonzalez on the search bar on LinkedIn, you'll find me.
Okay, that is awesome. And if you go backstage, you'll see my email.
Outstanding, brother.
All right. Take care.
All right.